Pulling up in German whips with no lease. So greased, then my pockets went obese. Even though I'm a star, I'm out selling coke. The chick staring at a star, never telescope.
Okay guys, so today we're going to be doing a completely different video. We're not talking about repairs. We're not talking about going out to do anything to any cars. Today's going to be a video in relation to, I keep getting asked so many questions regarding the N52 and the N52's phase of all the problems that have persisted on this car. And obviously, as you guys know, I used to work for the dealers during the E60 run when the N52 was released, the same with the N57 engine, the N53 engine as well, and the N54 engine. Now, the N52 engine has been a very, very big problematic engine along with the N53. So today I want to talk to you about that and what all the common problems are on that car, but also that how BMW addressed all these issues over the years but never told you guys that actually own an N52. Now, the majority of you have either been replacing parts, the problem still persists, or probably don't even know that this part's even in your car, and this is probably the main reason why your rough idle is existing and why you're having all these problems. So the first one we're going to talk about is spark plugs. Now, as you guys know, BMW run different spark plugs for different cars. But after 2007, they changed their spark plug. What they didn't tell anybody is anybody running an N52 engine from 2005, 2006, like me, didn't tell them about the spark plug changes that were made and that they got rid of the old ones. Now, I've got them right here and I'm just going to show you. This right here is the old ones. Now, this is how it comes out when you're using the wrong spark plugs on the wrong engine. And this is why BMW changed them. Now, as you can see here, this has got unburnt fuel. Why? Because after I did the update, and I kept these just to show you guys, when I did the update, these spark plugs right here, it was injecting more fuel, as I told you what the update does. These spark plugs couldn't keep up. So, and hence, this is what it does to them, ends up burning them out from injecting too much fuel, and that's why they all go pasty white. So this is the ones they got rid of. So if you've got these in your car, this will be the reason of your rough idle. If you've got them, you want to get rid of them. These are not the ones BMW are still using from today. If you went into the dealer, you went into any shop, they're not going to give you these ones with a single tip anymore. These ones were finished. BMW stopped selling these and they stopped production of these. So the one now they're using is, as you can see here, this has got the 4 tips. This is what BMW like to call the high power spark plugs. This is what they changed to on the N52 engine. This one itself fires a lot more, and when they update your car, this was one of the spark plugs they changed to as well. So as you can see here, this one right here is pasty white, this one right here is burning clear. That's the difference. Now, these have come from the same cylinder after the update, and as you can see there, these were burning white from burning off fuel. Well, it shouldn't even be like that. These ones are the right color, and these ones were sparking correctly. These are what BMW like to call now their high power spark plugs. These, they stopped making production for at all. You will not get these in BMW. Even if you went into dealer now, they'll sell you these. Most M52s, and even 525i M52 engines will have these spark plugs. I'm telling you, if you've got them spark plugs, that will be the cause of your rough idle. They don't fire quick enough. This is the whole reason they went to these ones. These are what BMW, as I said, call high power spark plugs. The next one, now I don't have the part to hand, is the Vanos solenoids. Now, the Vanos solenoids, after 2007, BMW changed the whole design of them. They changed them because the older ones couldn't pump at the full efficiency that the car wanted. And again, after the update, the old style Vanos solenoids would fail. That was due to them pumping too much current, and the other ones, during the update, they made the idle a lot better, that they didn't need that much current. So on the newer Vanos solenoids, so if you was to go to dealer now and buy a newer pair of solenoids, you'd compare them to your other ones, they wouldn't be the same. They would look identical, but the power output would be completely different. And that's because they changed them. Now, a lot of you are still running these old solenoids where you've never changed them, trying to clean them. That crap doesn't work. I'm telling you this for a fact. It does not work. The only way you're going to get any gains and any beneficial stopping rough idle is to use genuine BMW dealer ones. Now, you guys might say I'm always in favor of dealer. No, I am not. I'm just in favor of their parts. These cars are designed to run on their cars. I'm telling you from a person who used to build these engines, used to make this car when it used to come in. Sometimes I would have to strip this car when a customer would bring it in, it would have a problem and you'd find an electrical fault. for nothing, and it would never been to do with the engine. It's because they have neglected their car or spilled a can of drink down the electrical circuit, and that's why everything would short. These cars need to run on BMW's parts. We knew this when working there. China could not make, and still to this day cannot make, the Vanos solenoids like BMW do. BMW never released the pattern. They copied the pattern from one of BMW's parts, but they cannot provide the ultimate voltage that they want for them solenoids and the maximum pulse rate of how they open and close, pump the oil up to the Vanos adjusters. So that's another thing. You need to make sure you use genuine BMW dealer parts. As I said, Vanos solenoids, they changed them after 2007. You need to be aware of that, because if you're still running old ones from when you first bought the car, I would advise you strongly go and change them. Don't try and update your car, because the Vanos solenoids will pack up. They can't keep up with the update. Take my word on that. The next one. Now, I'm just going to read this because I put all this in my phone. The update cured the rough idle, which BMW didn't tell anyone about, due to not wanting to have a stack of cars in their forecourt and people arriving like pigeons in the dealer for updates. Now, as you guys are aware, the moment I released that video about the rough idle fix about the update, it has got over nearly 5,000 views. That's a lot of views for a video. That just shows how many people have this problem. People wouldn't be viewing it unless they were looking for a rough idle, because obviously I'm going to be coming up and everywhere people are searching for rough idle. Now, that alone just shows you how many people have this issue. And now if the dealer did go and put that out as a recall or as any kind of other thing, and they told everyone about this, how many people would turn up at the dealers? Now, you guys have got to understand one thing. Dealers don't update older cars over 3 years old, because it's not worth it for them. They have cars under warranty, under lease, under finance agreements that they have to maintain, where they give people buy a warranty of their cars and things like that, which are going to be put as priority before any older cars. They don't want to end up risk bricking their cars, all the older cars, because you've got to remember, BMW dealers don't use Win KFP, so they refuse to do updates because they're brick modules. They can't repair them. They have no clue. They are trained from a course which is in Milton Keynes in the UK. They learn there how to use these programs, ISTA-P and ISTA, that is it. The car, that's why they use ISTA-P, because the car programs and codes for them and clears the fault memory. Because if they had to use Win KFP, they have to go and manually code the car and also do everything else after. They are not responsible enough and not brainy enough to do that. They are taught on the course how to use the basic programs for the dealer, that is it. So the next thing they didn't tell you is that when you went into BMW buying all these variants, as I spoke to you about in one of my videos, you didn't have to buy any variant. BMW actually conned everybody. As you guys are aware, you could, if you look on my M-Power video, which will be at the end screen on this video, you could actually unlock your car to have the full engine performance of whatever a 530 would be, just by using the M-Power mod, which is what I showed you. And it has worked for people, as a couple of guys have already commented that video, saying it worked for them and their gears are holding better and everything like that, and it's more racier. That's the whole point. Another thing BMW didn't want to tell you, because BMW like to say by variants and give you the lowest spec, what you're actually paying for when you get a 525R, 523i is a lower spec model. So if you get a 525R, you get one disc of flat, for instance, in a manifold, a lower spec, no full sat-nav screen unless it's provisionally ordered. When you get their 530i model, that's their top spec model, so they give you everything inside as well as everything in the engine. Full power, full model. But when you buy a 523i, you're getting less power output and they're giving you a very basic model. When they don't tell you, you can actually upgrade to the full model. Now, most 523i have a N52 B25 engine. You can actually just change the manifold for a 3-stage manifold and do the M-Power mod. You'll fully unlock a 530i engine with 258 bhp. Now, this mod does work on all the 3 Series. Why is that? Well, in the end, BMW ended up releasing an update and they never rectified it, that ended up unlocking the 3-stage manifold and activating the dissers for any car on a 3 Series that didn't even have dissers. Nobody knew why. This was all on the MSV80. It does it on the N51 B30 engine, the M52 B30 engine, and it's all over the States as well. 328 XI, I've done it too many times, and all of a sudden, it's unlocked a 3-stage manifold, and these people are like, they don't even have a 3-stage manifold. But yet it's unlocked the dissers. Even though it don't interfere with the car, the fact is it's showing up there. So if they plug them connectors in, the disc flaps are active. Nobody knows why. This is not available on the 5 Series, so there's no point to even trying to message me asking. It's only available on the 3 Series, that update. I don't know why it does that. It was just BMW, and that's why BMW themselves don't like using that update on the 3 Series, because of that reason, because many people don't have the 3-stage manifold and end up giving you something for free. BMW are not about giving you gains for free. That's the whole point. Okay, this is another one I get asked as well. BMW will also say to you that the LM modules cannot be changed for an LM2. Now, the reason I get asked this a lot is because people want the welcome lights on their car. Just like the 3 Series do, after 2008, I think it was, they changed to the LM2 module. LM2 module gave you the nice welcome lights. When you unlock the car, all the lights would turn on, and just certain other features, which the LM1 didn't give. That is not true at all. The LM2 can be interchanged, just the EEPROM has to be cleared and the mileage corrected from the previous car. The CAS don't have to be changed with the LM2 or nothing. The LM2 can be a straight swap, as well as the NRFM on the 3 Series, which is what they call the light module on them, which is the footwell module. So as you guys know, you can change it with the light module LM2. You don't have to go to an LM1 and have it all and have other modules. The LM2 can be interchanged for LM1, and you can have the welcome lights. So if BMW tell you can't, don't listen to them. You can have retrofit. That is because they don't have the skills, they don't have the software to be able to use WinKFP, NCS Expert, and all them kind of things that you need to do them kind of mods. They don't have that, and they can't, as they will tell you, wipe second-hand modules. They can only fit brand new. That's only something that me and a few other people in the UK can do. You can wipe the modules clear, wipe the EEPROM data, and put them for your car, and put your car's data onto that module. It's not a hard job to do. It's quite simple. BMW won't do it because why? They want you to go and spend 1,500 to 2 grand on a module. That was the way we used to get a lot of money. For instance, when we was in the dealers, we would have the guys, before I trained to be doing what I'm doing with coding and programming and become a technician of the sort I do, what they would do is that what they used to do, I don't know if they still do this now, is they would take 3 Series and 5 Series, E60s and E90s in purposely and make you sign a waiver form saying to you that if any modules brick, that you're going to be liable for a cost. What would BMW do? Go and brick your module. They knew it was going to brick, but they wouldn't tell you firsthand. They wouldn't tell you that your module was brick. They'd say it might be a cause. And obviously people ain't going to care about might. They're going to care if it's a definite. So people would still go ahead because as you know, there's a risk with anything. Anything in life. Most people find make sign a waiver, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. BMW knew it was going to happen. What they would do is take these cars in. They would then brick their modules. For BMW, it was a very simple job. Go to the parts department, get a new module, fit it to their car, reprogram it, recode it Vista P, charge the customer £3,500 for a job that was only meant to be £350. They've made their model. Do you think they care? No, and I'll tell you instantly why. When we do coding and programming in the dealer, we leave that computer to do its thing because Vista P programs the whole car. You go and do another thing. BMW are not losing money from programming your car. They will go and do another thing, fix another customer's car where that takes 4 or 5 hours to update. They ask you though to keep the car for a full 24 to 48 hours while updating. And that's because they want to test it after. They do this as well because they know it's going to brick, and then they want to ring you and say, oh, something crashed out overnight, your module's brick, blah, blah, blah. But they will not fork out the bill. They won't even go halves. Now, usually what BMW used to do is give you half the repair bill, pay for half of it as a complimentary gesture. They would ring BMW, kick up a fuss, and they'll do it. Now, you take an E90 or a 60 and they agree to do it, they won't. You're paying for the full bill on that module. Trust me on that. Okay, so another one is the CIC being retrofitted for the iDrive. This is another one I get asked a lot. People think they could take their cars to BMW and have the CIC integrated. As you know, the CIC is the newer system than the iDrive system itself on E60s. This can be done, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, this cannot be done via the dealer. So when you go to the dealer asking them to change all your screen and change this and change that, it's not going to happen. Do not think you can go to the dealer asking them to change to CIC. They do not do retrofits. If you want that done, you need to find someone like me, or like Nathan, or like many others who have WinKFP and NCS Expert. That is all backwards coding. That is not meant to be retrofitted to these 60s. People just found a way and retrofitted it. It's not hard to do. Many people have done it on YouTube, but it's not something the dealer does. If you want to change that, you have to know how to do it yourself, and you have to know how to code, you have to know how to program. It's very simple. You cannot go to the dealer and expect them to do that. They don't have a clue what you're even talking about. They don't even know if it's even possible. You've got to understand, they don't use WinKFP, they don't use NCS Expert, and they don't use IMPA. You guys all go on about IMPA. When you go to a dealer, they laugh at you because IMPA is not even a proper software. They don't give a crap about IMPA. Use ISTA for your diagnostics. Use WinKFP for your programming. If you've got an F-Series, use ISTA Plus. You don't need to use WinKFP. If you want coding, use NCS Expert, unless you want to use E-System for your F-Series. It's very simple. Dealer doesn't use them. They use E-System now for the F-Series, but they use ISTA Plus now for updating. It does everything. It's all integrated into one. No more ISTA P. You know, you guys have got to understand, you can't go to the dealer for these sort of things. They just don't do it. Especially CRC retrofit. You want the new updated version, you go and fit it. It's very simple. Dealer will not fit that for you. Another thing I get asked all the time is, if I update my iDrive, will it change my iDrive? Now, this question gets asked too bloody much. When you update your iDrive, it is going to give you no gains. And I mean a big fat no. No, no, no. You're going to get nothing apart from a lighter grey colour on your iDrive screen. It is not going to give you the CIC look which I just spoke about, which many people want with that whole menu button and the Bluetooth and the vehicle information and everything like that. It is not going to give you that. So if you're thinking of updating, don't bother. It's not going to change the layout of your iDrive. For that, you need to retrofit the CIC. The CIC units are still going for about £700, £800. Here, you have people fit them for about £1,000 all in. They'll fit it for you, code it in and program it, the lot. Retrofit it. Is it worth it? Not really. You're going to have to change your center trim console as well for the bigger button. And that, to me, just isn't worth it. Realistically, when you think of the expense it's going to cost, and it is a nice upgrade, but realistically, you're not ever going to get your money back on that. I mean, I see E63s, a lot 6 series, with that already done, where people have already coded that in. And that person, I think to myself, my God, the amount he probably spent, because I doubt he's going to have known how to do that on the car, just to do that, and they send it and not getting a penny back. Is it worth the gain? Not really. Really, what you're showing people is if the car's actually up to date with the service, if it's got any faults. So is it actually worth changing? It's better to leave it alone, the way it is original. Because when you get faults, it's going to be harder to diagnose, because that car shouldn't have even had that. So on ISTA, it's going to find a CIC, but it knows your model. If you was ever to factory code, recode, you're going to have factory code in a normal CCC, because by factory, your car knows this shouldn't be, that CIC shouldn't be fitted there. And even ISTA P, if you was ever to use ISTA P, you can kiss your CIC retrofit goodbye, because it will completely wipe it out and put it back to CCC. So that's another thing to be aware of. You always have to be very careful with the coding, because you code the wrong thing, your CIC is wiped out. Next thing is the oil filter housing gaskets leak. Now, let me just explain to you something. Again, when I was in the dealer, we were fully aware of that problem. We used to have cars coming in with it completely leaking. People weren't even aware, because it was always leaking at the back. You guys know you have it leak on the front and it destroys your serpentine belt and goes straight through the crankshaft pulley. That was a common problem. Now, if someone were to bring a customer bring their car into recall, we would happily fix that job for them for free. I would usually do it for them for free, because it wasn't expensive. The gaskets in our dealers, they sell to customers for, I think it was £20, £23 for the gaskets. But obviously, as we do it on trade, it's about £10 for original BMW gaskets. I would replace it for them, because that can destroy their whole belt and you don't have problems. Not only that, when you go into the dealer and there's a problem like that, when we used to get a car in, the customer can easily blame us, saying we did that to their car, so it was easy to repair that problem so they couldn't come back. Because by the time that problem would come back, it would be over a year, warranty's finished. That's the way you got to look at it, even a recall problem. So they couldn't blame the recall, they couldn't blame this, because what customers like to do when you'd fix a recall or fix an issue with them, they come back and say, well, this car never had this problem until you touched it. This car never had this problem until you touched it. So then we would have to bring the car back in, and it was too time consuming for us. So it was easy to fix the problem then, get rid of the car and not see it again. Once their warranty's finished, they can't come back saying anything, because the year's up. You don't get a lifetime guarantee on parts and labour. It don't work. So that's what we would do. BMW did try to rectify that, however, on the N53, as many of you are aware. They did try to rectify the oil filter housing gasket. They tried to change it. Did it work? Did it help? It didn't work. You guys are already aware it didn't work. You know, they did try their very, very best to get that to stop leaking, because they knew it was a common problem. BMW never addressed it. They just used to say, just change it. The way many people have chosen to change it with a swivel head under the manifold is the way we would do it if it coming for a recall. Now, if someone come in to us for that for actual repair, let me just explain to you, we would tell them the manifold needs to come off. When we would have that car in, we would then take probably about, I don't know, 9-10 hours just to remove that manifold. Why? On purpose. Because we would charge the customer over £900 to £1,000 just to do that job. That's £1,000 for an easy job. Would we remove the manifold? No, we wouldn't. We'd still use the swivel head under the manifold and remove the oil filter housing. You guys ain't gonna like all this, what I'm telling you, but it wasn't me. I don't own BMW, I don't set the prices. I just repair the cars that get brought in. I see the sales invoice, they build them. You have a sales team that then build them, an accounting team. I have no part to play in that. So that's another common problem on that. Okay, so the next one is ignition coils failing. I'll tell you why they fail. They fail because of this reason. Right there. This reason alone is the reason your ignition coils fail. Right here. Not burning. Why? Because you need them. These are the correct ones for your car. Without using these, right there, you're going to end up with ignition coil failure. Because when you do the update, they put a lot more strain on the plugs. Obviously, they send more power to the ignition coils. As you know, the ignition coils use direct current on the ignition coils to fire the cylinders. So, when they put more power on them, your ignition spark plugs end up failing. If you have these, 100% you're going to fail. You're going to end up with a rough idle. Again, BMW were aware of this, but never told anyone. Why? Because they wanted to wait for your car to fail, even after the rough idle, because they would make a lot of money just on spark plugs. As you know, BMW sells spark plugs for, I think it's £90 for 6, and the ignition coils, I think they're about 150 for all 6. It's a lot of money. They charge you 2-3 hours labour just to fix that. You see what I'm saying? You see the gain I'm getting here? All these parts are very expensive, and it's part that BMW won't tell you. Like for instance, like I spoke about in the beginning, this is not the spark plug BMW use anymore. This right here is the spark plug BMW use. Trust me, if you go out to your car and you remove your spark plugs, I guarantee you, yours will be fitted with these. This is the wrong style spark plug for your car. Trust me on that. People are trying to tell me this is the right one. I'm telling you now, from experience, this is the right one. Many of you won't believe me. Go and change your spark plugs. I guarantee you, if you've done the update, you've done the Vanos solenoids, but you haven't checked that, that's going to be your main culprit. I've been wanting to do this video for quite a while now regarding it, because a lot of people have N52 issues, and I just believe I need to help you guys a lot more, because you're always messaging me, and I feel like I'm obviously not putting out enough about the common problems on these to help you guys. Obviously, you guys are aware of the dis-flap problem, that the flap can come off in your manifold. Again, BMW were aware of that, but it wasn't too serious. It wasn't something that breaks all the time. It's mostly it breaks after a lot of wear, and usually when the CCV blows, it gets a lot of oil on the flap and causes it to destroy itself, gets sucked in the manifold. And usually it blows out the exhaust, but the flap hangs around in the bottom of the manifold. It is a common problem. It's nothing to be too scared about. And the one at the bottom, if you've got the 3-stage manifold, the one at the bottom, that flap doesn't really do anything. That one doesn't really get sucked in. So it's not something to be too concerned about, and usually know when it's failing, because you lose your low down torque. Anyone can notice that on these BMs. If you've got a torque and the next thing you haven't, it's usually because of that. That's the only thing that gives is a lot more power low end. But that's it, guys. Like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I said, I've got many videos out about the N52, but obviously I haven't really spoken about all the common problems that BMW never told you. So this is why I've done this video. I wanted to get this out. This is all the common problems regarding the N52. Any questions regarding N53, I will be doing in another video, so stay tuned. If you've got an N53, I know all the problems with that car that the dealer hasn't told you. Please stay tuned for that video, because that video, a lot of you are going to need help with. The N53 one, there is a lot of common problems I'll add on that one, which you will be running through, and I'll tell you how to fix that. And most of them are actually free fixes that BMW have to carry out themselves by law, which we'll be going through with you as well. Thank you for watching, guys. As always, please give this video a thumbs up. Obviously, hopefully it can help with everyone on my rough idle fix and all the other N52 videos. This is BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.